What's your favorite scary movie?
Swallow this.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Arrow in the Head Show. That makes me Lance. And of course, that makes you John Fallon, the Arrow. John, my old friend, how you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Look, I came disguised as a so I must be doing great, right?
Is that what happens when you wear a beanie? You look like a cock?
That's what people tell me, yeah.
That's
It's
all right. I never thought about it, but well, I guess to keep the tradition, we'll go with drinks and all. My friend, what are you drinking?
Well, I'm sure, for those of you that may know, I've had some health issues where I'm supposed to just drink gin and tonic because of my stomach. But today I said, fuck it. So I am drinking a red wine, good for the heart. And it comes from a black box.
Box wine, how classy of you.
You know me, man. That's how I roll, man. I'm gonna sniff it. I'm gonna fucking listen to it, and I'm gonna fucking drink it. So there you go. What about you, man?
Fair enough, man. Well, I guess I'm also drinking something gross. I went and got a bunch of these small little bottles of whiskey and scotch. I'm drinking Dewar's blended scotch. Caribbean
I like Dewar's.
Smooth.
I like Dewar's. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. T.O. You said Dewar's, then what'd you say after?
Says Caribbean Smooth rum cask blended scotch whiskey.
Well, that's where you just fucked yourself, dude.
I mean, I got a bunch of them. It came like in one of those like gift packs.
Yeah, fuck the gift bags, man. You got to take the legit, clean Dewar's. Not this like Caribbean dream on a sailboat motherfucker thing.
I don't know if Dewar's at its best is that good, man. I don't know.
I think it's all right.
I like a good rum, so I was curious how it would go. And it's not great, but I own it and I have to drink it, so
there you have it.
Yeah.
Well, on that, cheers to you, my friend. Cheers to all of you. Thank you for popping in our I don't know. I don't have a joke. Our danger zone.
What with pizza? Hair of the dog that bit me. Bourbon on the rocks. That'll do it.
The main reason we wanted to do this episode was about interacting further with you guys. Look, I'll be completely transparent. We'll be completely transparent with you all. We are trying to find ways to be able to interact with you all in a more direct way than the comments, under the videos and stuff like that. What I'd like to propose to you guys and dolls is if you have any questions for Lance or any questions for me on anything, really, comment on this video, and on the next Off the Cuff, which will be next Wednesday, we'll answer them and make it part of whatever the fuck we're going to talk about. Another thing I would like to ask from all of you is, I'm sure you've noticed. If you haven't, here it is. On Mondays, we have the Manson Brothers show, which is not Lance and I, it's the Manson Brothers, and they do their own shtick. On Wednesday, we have Off the Cuff. On Friday, we have the regular Arrow on the Head show. We are trying to find ways to make the channel and our show more appealing to you. So, do you want us to just stick to movies? Do you want us to go outside of movies and address, I don't know, whatever the fuck we're knowledgeable about, whether it be the film industry. For me, I know a lot about fitness. Or do you want us to stay within that box of, horror films or whatever? All that to say, we want to make the channel better. We want to make our episodes better. So, again, pop the comments, pop suggestions. We are reading. We are listening. We're on it every day. And that's pretty much it.
Well, John, there's a question that came a while back that I specifically made a little bookmark for. And I think this is a good time just to let's get one out, right?
Sure.
One of our friends, I never met him, but he's always on our page. Seems like a really cool guy. His name's Lennox Mate, or at least his YouTube.
Oh yeah,
pages.
Lennox, man.
I want to say he was drinking some stuff that wasn't Guinness. It was Murphy's, I believe.
Yeah,
and I used to drink Murphy's like in high school because I'm that old. But he has a question, and I'm going to read it to you, John. And like Bill Burr, I don't read well, or
I don't care.
I always think of Shawshank, where he's like, I don't read so good. He's like, well, you don't read so well.
There you go.
Sean, I was wondering, does a movie like Megan frustrate you? Because you didn't care for it, neither did I. I was very clear about that, though. I should say, just because the internet's weird, I love what you love. I love a lot of goofy stuff that people hate, so I'm not judging, but it was not for me, and John, it was not for you. So, obviously, you work as an independent movie maker with a limited budget. Do you get frustrated when you see poor quality movies like Megan produced and think what you can do with a budget like that? Or do you prefer to have more control like you do now?
I remember that question, actually. I've answered it as a comment under that video. But for you guys, and I'll paraphrase because I don't remember what the fuck I answered. So it might be a totally different answer. Who knows?
Good. Speak from the heart, Sean. The heart.
Yeah, I'll speak from the heart. No, it doesn't bother me at all. For me, Megan's a product. That's it. It's a Big Mac. It's and you know what? It just goes to show, dude, like straight up, we're getting old. I'll speak for myself. I'm getting old because people are fucking dropping loads. Oops, you see? Dropping loads off this movie. They're like, Megan was amazing. Megan with this, Megan was that. I don't get it. I didn't see it. I saw the movie, but I do not see anything amazing about this movie. It's cookie cutter by the numbers. Duck, 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 duck. So maybe I have now, I'm at the age where, I'm too old. I can't relate with new shit. I can't see it the way like younger people see it because I'm too old. I'll watch Big Trouble in Little China and tell you it's a fucking masterpiece. Well, I won't watch Megan and tell you that's a fucking masterpiece. So I think I'm at that stage now where that's why I don't really watch like new stuff much. I can't relate to it. I can't connect to it. It's rare that I find a new horror movie that I connect to, and it definitely wasn't Halloween fucking Ends. So,
well, Sean, you just
at the end of the day, pardon me.
Gotta look past the horror and look for the love, buddy.
All love, baby. All love you. No, it doesn't frustrate me at all. I know how hard it is to make a movie. I don't care how much money you have. It's really hard to make a movie, and they made a movie that made a lot of money. They were smart with the TikTok viral promotion. So God bless them, man. All the power to them. And that's it. Yeah, I know what I could do with 1.5, or I think this one was probably like 5 mil or something. I know what I could do. But, we all walk our own paths, and, my path is my path, and every filmmaker has their own path. And, and this is age talking, by the way. Ask me the same shit in my 20s, it would have been a different answer. But I'm happy to just walk my path and figure my shit out and do my thing, and that's it. And if people around me succeed, whether it's a big budget or a low budget, God bless them, man. All the power to them. Go for it. So, no, it does not bother me at all. But I will not see part 2. So, there you go.
I think that it's very political and that it's not entirely based on the quality of a project per se. I think there's a lot going on. There are a lot of cooks in the kitchen when it comes to nominations and who's and categories that are recognized. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that either. But I think that's true. I think a lot of people know that.
I think there's something we need to address. The great and incredibly talented Mia Goth recently went into the press and said that the horror genre, I'm going to paraphrase, has been treated like a bitch by the Academy, by the Oscars. And I completely agree with that. It's actually quite embarrassing. I'll always remember, I don't know if you remember this shit, but when Get Out, Jordan Peele's film, which I enjoyed like the first hour until it fell apart in the last act, they couldn't nominate it as a horror movie. So they nominated it as a fucking comedy. That was a joke, man. I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, really, you hate horror this much that you're going to take Jordan Peele's Get Out, a great 1 hour film with a shitty last act, and nominate it as a comedy?
I mean, it's clearly a horror movie. Yeah, clearly one. But if you label something in the horror genre, you immediately get it's like blacklisted, essentially, And I'll say this: Mia Goth in Pearl is an Oscar winning, or no, I shouldn't say winning, because that's always a debate. But it's an Oscar nominated performance. Absolutely, absolutely. She should have been. But we could have gone back and forth about. There's a lot of stuff, man, that I've seen over the years where I'm like, oh man, this should have it, and it's like, oh, it doesn't. Even if it walks the line, I would fight to death and say Silence of the Lambs is an absolute horror movie. It is.
Of course, but they sold it as it got nominated, obviously, but more I think as a thriller than a horror picture. Yeah,
thriller, and I've said this before, and I'll fight this to the bitter end. Thriller is what we called back then, what I think is morphed into elevated horror now, which is like it's absolutely a horror movie, but because people can't wrap their hands around two things at once, it's like Silence of the Lambs could be a horror movie, and so could Jason 8. Those could both exist as horror movies. You can't, you don't have to just separate and be like, no, this is a thriller. Yeah, it's a thriller. But no, this one's horror. Like Terrifier 2 is a good example of that's an all horror movie. And I'm glad it exists because I like that kind of stuff. It's fun. It's silly and it's cool. But that doesn't mean that something like, let's say,
Halloween Ends.
Well, since we're talking about Oscars, the guy who played Corey should have absolutely got one because, I at no point did I ever think he was a buff dude that was, just letting himself get picked on. The whole time I was like, oh, he's a nerd. That's 6'5" and 240 pounds. And it has a nice forearms. No.
You're an asshole. It definitely should have at least won Best Romance, I think, because, the moments where they lock eyes right here.
It was cute. Right, I know. That's the same thing. Like, them clearly traveling together on the motorcycle because he doesn't have a car, and it's a big thing for me. And I always felt like that's the movie. The movie in between Halloween Ends is really the movie I want to see. Because it's like they love each other. It's essentially Before Sunrise, only with Michael Myers and a big buff jock guy playing a dork.
Pretty much. Actually, you know what? You know what song should have played during the scenes between Corey and Mr. Myers? Is that song? I don't even know where it's from, but maybe you'll know. I don't want to live till my life's fully over. Na, 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 na.
Dawson's Creek.
Dawson's Creek? Yes. yes. They should have played that shit, man, because slow-mo, locking eyes. No?
Listen, I say as a horror movie, it's not great, but as a romance, I was hooked.
Well, look, guys and dolls, the bottom line is this. We are in 2023. I'm an old cop, and I've been around watching horror, loving horror since the 80s. And the genre has never gotten the respect that it deserves from the elite within the film industry. And it's almost like they treat the horror genre like the dime store horror. Like, I always remember when Paramount would put out these big budget movies that would tank, but Friday 13 part whatever would make a bank, but Paramount didn't respect the series. You know what? Because horror, not horrors, horror is art. All right, it is art. You look at a movie like The Shining, that is art. Did Shining get nominated? No, it did not. Should it have been? Of course, it should have been. In 2023, horror still doesn't get the love it deserves or the respect that it deserves, and I guess it never will. So it's. Even though it's making a lot of money, even though a piece of shit like Megan can come out opening weekend, kill bank, more money than, more respectable movies, even though I hated Megan. What a bore fest. But it literally is perceived by the film industry, in my useless opinion, as a horror. It makes money. We don't respect it. Yeah, it's completely tainted. And it could be a man horror, by the way, before, I get emails. Oh, John. So point being is, horror gets no respect, still doesn't get no respect. Mia Goth is absolutely right. I hear she's incredible, and it's unfortunate that performances of that caliber, from what I hear, are omitted because of the genre that they play in, because it's a genre that is not respected. And it's unfortunate because horror, much like sci-fi, can be used as a metaphor or a parallel to things that's happening in today's society.
Horror tends to have really good sound design, even if we could fight and say that most of them don't have performances would be nominated an Oscar, and I could fight that because I think some do, some don't. I love some really schlocky stuff, But sound design, directing, scripting, there's a lot of stuff where I'm like, clearly we're just ignoring stuff to ignore it. I was looking, Nope wasn't nominated for sound design, and it absolutely should have. It absolutely should have. Ralph Fiennes was amazing in The Menu. It's Ralph Fiennes. It's like, yeah, but he was in The Menu, though. So it's like, you could make kind of a schlocky, silly movie about a warhorse, and I love Spielberg, but like that's not a good movie, But
I'll never see it. I don't care.
We can nominate that, but it's like, okay, but I mean, has John Carpenter never done anything that was cool and sort of like inventive enough to get nominated? Really, never. There's the performances, even if it's like over the top, that I think are so solid. I mean, Bruce Campbell, as silly as it sounds, and like Bubba Hotep was such a like, it was such a fun, comedic yet like a heartfelt performance. Where I'm not saying it's going to be beating out whatever went against it, but like, okay, but we were acknowledging some things but not others. So my whole thing is just, I guess, hypocrisy, and that's a big thing for me, which is it's all or none. Is it actually skill, or is it just a big popularity contest and it's about backroom handshakes? Is this just Chicago politics in California? Is that all it is? And if it is, fine, but let's say it then.
I'll always remember when Stallone didn't get nominated for Copland.
He absolutely should have. I remember that being a big issue.
Yeah, that was a big issue. Because why? Why? Because it's not based on performance. It's based on, and I forgot the fucking term they use, lobbying. So,
Raimi, Quick and the Dead, that wasn't nominated. I mean, that's not even horror, but it's like, he's a horror director. So no. Can't be doing a good Western with great performances and great directing. We got to get that there. That shows you alone that it's like you're tainted by the genre. No, man, I'm the same way. I'll always read the list the day after because I'm always curious.
Yeah.
And once in a while, I'm always like, you deserve it. In my whole collection, maybe like 8 Oscar movies, if I had to guess. But I have all the transfers. And in the end of the day, Tim Thomerson, to me, is a far more charming actor than a lot of the people being nominated now that I'll forget. And we've talked about this, and this is where I'll end it myself. The Green Book one. I've never seen it, don't care about it, and I'm not picking on it. I know people do.
I love the film, actually. I thought it was very good.
Awesome. But the point of the story is in 10 years, nobody will talk about the Green Book. But people still talk about Police Story. I have 1 through 3 right there. People still talk about the Blues Brothers. I don't remember that one in Best Picture either. People still talk about Bill and Ted 1 and 2. People still talk about Big Trouble in Little China. So in the end of the day, like, I almost feel that we pretend that the Oscars mean this thing that'll make a movie legendary, but at the end of the day, a fun cult movie will outlast, the most prestigious award-winning film most of the time. Not always.
I agree.
But so I always think, like, in the end, it's almost Hollywood patting themselves in the back. And I'm not one of those weird people that's like anti-Hollywood. It's just like, no, I love it. They've made all the movies I love. But I'm also able to critique them and say that they're crooked and just like my old police department, it's like, yeah, they're out for themselves. But in the end of the day, I'll take Bubba Hotep because that's going to outlast them, because Heart and Soul, man, is better than awards.
The Oscars are a circle jerk. I'm done.
And like that, I can't come up with anything better. Yes,
I know. I'm done.
Well, John, I think that brings us to the end. I'm done with my disgusting scotch. So
to Sans being safe, and see you next time. Cheers.